Hello everybody, it's a happy Tuesday from here where I sit right now, and I thought I might just quickly pop on to follow up with a bit of audio, so to speak, verbal, from the meditation that I will have posted prior to this, this video. So the meditation, and I actually did it for my Sacred Circle group the other night, was about filling ourselves up with true source essence crystalline light that we are. And the reason that I'm coming on to speak about this is because this is so important that we forget. It doesn't matter how spiritual we think we are or what we feel we're doing. We get caught up right now in much that's going on in our world, and particularly in our personal world, because we're all under fire as the shadow aspects of our game play out before us. So we're either on the receiving end and the opportunity of understanding and gaining wisdom in the games that we're playing with our co-players, be they gracious and we're learning easily, or whether they be the players that are really pushing our buttons and triggering us and causing us angst and frustrations and anger. So even though we might be doing our work, so to speak, our grounding, that's great, but sometimes we just need to be amping that up a little bit. And I feel from now and here on in, we certainly need to be checking into ourselves far more frequently, because again, we're magnificent beings of light and energy and magnetics and electrics and now crystalline. And we don't fully comprehend until we become very, very aware and conscious of our being, how we are impacted constantly by the frequencies within and around us. So, which is why I've begun and put these initial videos out, starting at the basics of mastering your skills again, remembering your skills, doing them regularly, being vigilant and diligent to the self, because we're in ever increasing energetic times now that you just have to, you have to be on top of your game, so to speak. And I like the word game, and I will use the word game because it lessens the impact for me. It always has. It allowed me to step back from my emotional drama, the emotional parts of what were playing out before me or within me. And every time I look at the word game or I engage with that word, for me, it allows me to detach. It allows me and gives me the opportunity to step back and go, okay, hang on a minute. Take that breath that we just did in the meditation. If you haven't done it, might be a really good opportunity to check it out. But to just take that breath and center again. The centering is so important. And to do and find that center, it doesn't take long. Often, again, spiritual practices of the old, and there wasn't anything wrong, it's just the way that it was then, is that we often gave time or tried to make time, or we made excuses that we didn't have time to actually sit down and do a proper meditation. Might take half an hour, or get in our TP, or, whatever we thought the ritual was that we had to do to reach spirit. Okay, listen to these words, because they're limitations in themselves. Okay, we're now in fast frequencies. We're fifth dimensional. Things are moving rapidly. So are we. So is everything around us and within us. So we don't have to do these old lengthy practices any longer. Again, our brain, our old systems can tell us that we do. So be it, do that. But truthfully and in truth, we don't have to. As we engage and we align to the faster energies, we are receiving the energies way faster now as well. So you can simply intend things that I used to do, and I would sit and receive messages. I would sit and channel for myself or write. I would sit and it might take a half an hour. I know now I can just think it, know it, be it, do it, and I know that it's done. But that also takes practice. That also takes the will for you to know what works for you, so that you start to get to know your energy fields. And I guess this is the main message from today, apart from the fill. To be able and recognize when you need to fill yourself up with light is recognizing when you're allowing frequencies to impact you. Okay. If you are allowing your beautiful love light essence to be taken, if you are allowing it to be given and to be drained, then only you and you alone are the person that can refill that. No one else can come in and fill that for you. So again, we often tend to, in our human ego aspect, and when we're under fire, when we're in crisis, when things are amping up around us, within us, when we're being challenged, we tend to forget our practice. We tend to slip. We're not as routine, we're not as diligent as we might be when we're feeling good, and we can easily do that. When we're in the moment and we're confronted and we're in our opportunity of learning, as I like to call it in the game, others may call it my horrific moments where, you know, it's all falling apart. They're the moments of opportunity. You know, in those moments, we're engaging with another and we are dropping our frequencies. Because normally if there's anything less than love, as we know, there will be the moments of the frustration, the anger, the judgments, the powerlessness, whatever it is for you that comes up, where you know you're just simply not feeling good. Okay, that's as clear as it can be. If you're not joyous and you're not happy, then you're not in the heart. Okay, you are in ego. So the longer that continues without conscious awareness, and even if you're consciously aware, but you're still engaging with the ego that's still playing the old game, or you're in doubt, you're unsure, you're still feeling the frustration, all those energies just keep decreasing and decreasing and decreasing for you. And so eventually the cup starts to get a little bit low. And then we see the mirrors from around us. So if the feminine, when we're not listening, we'll see the females coming before us. If we're not taking the action, or we've got harsh judgment, or we're talking to ourselves negatively, or we've got power issues with men in front of us, or women, both are reflecting the inner aspects of ourselves and where we need to have a look and refill and cut ties to pull out of the game. Okay. So again, if you do the meditation, or if you've done the meditation prior to this, you will have seen where your cup was filled, your heart cup, your true source love light energy, the elixir of beautiful essence. It may be full, fantastic. You know, it's giving you a great barometer check of where you're at energetically. If it's very, very low, then you've really emptied the cup out. And, you know, truthfully, we need to say, well, how and why am I doing that? Now, the other thing we need to remember, and obviously you refill as best you can and as fast as you can with love, not from fear, nothing from fear. But the other thing we also need to realize is that even if we're filling up and we feel okay, if we're highly empathic in our nature, and we're not sealing off our auras, and we forget our auric fields, and we forget to put our geometries in place and these beautiful parameters to ensure our light quotients remain high and as high as they possibly can in the quantum state, then other beings will come in and also just bleed from you. Okay, and this is what other souls will do. And it's not any negativity, it's just an exchange how energy works. And the higher the light we are, we will be attracting lower forces to us, because high will always draw low up into itself. And at the same time, as our light stands as true light, we will challenge lower frequencies, because the lower ego doesn't like the light. It doesn't want to know the light because it will illuminate the shadow that it is. So this is how we find we're in challenging positions often when we're on our path, because it's a two-way street. And the two-way street is simply you're offering a chance unto others to hear light, to hear truth, to show your light. And how we be our light is through our actions, our integrity and our impeccability. It's not through preaching, teaching, telling someone how to change, what they should be doing, what they're doing right or wrong. Again, we've dropped our frequency down to ego. So a lot of times you can just be, and you will irritate someone around you. Okay. At the same time, you can just simply be, and someone who feels and sees your light will spot you in a crowded room. They will feel your presence and be drawn into you. So our energies are all important, always and in all ways. Okay. So getting us right first is key. We must be looking after ourselves because, as I said, no one will look after us, full stop. To nurture us, to look after if we're needing love, if we're needing nurturing, if we want caring, what we're really saying is we're not giving it to ourselves. So the minute we give it to ourselves, we don't need it from outside of ourselves. And we have to remember that everything outside of ourselves is the illusion. That everything that we're experiencing beyond ourselves is a reflection of what's happening within our inner world, be that positive or not so. So remedying and rectifying and reinstating our frequencies is vital to us moving forward and moving upward on the grand spiral, into the higher aspects of our greater understanding and into our higher self and our truths. So I guess that's predominantly the message that I'd love to say, calling in. And I think this is really important too. And I said this to my group on Sunday night. Sometimes as humans, we feel very alone, and we can feel very alone on this journey as well. Yeah, absolutely. But remembering too that we are never alone in truth. Okay, we might feel it physically because that's how it's presenting, or we may be feeling we're on the move, the pull away from the lower frequencies and the friends and the family that aren't rising with us, don't hold the same alignments that we do now, and that happens, and it will. But we have to remember that we are so supported by the beings around us that we can't always see. They are there, they are present, they are energies, they are the highlight. And the reason you can't see them, feel them, hear them at times, and if it is your journey, is because they are on a higher frequency band to where you are. So as you raise your frequencies, it's like tuning into a radio or a TV station. You can only connect to the vibration, to the channel with the same frequency. You can only go from an AM old station, and a lot of you might not even know what AM and FM is, but in the old school of radio, the AM frequencies were the lower frequencies. They were limited in their receptivity. And then as we get to FM, we've got a higher range of higher channels, newer channels, and AM can't connect to FM. You simply can't be in that alignment. So you have to dial up the system, you have to dial up the radio to connect to the FM or change over to the FM stereo. And that's predominantly what we're simply doing. It's like TV used to be black and white. In my day, when I was a little girl, it was black and white. And then we went to color. So this is kind of like we're going from, the old awakening days, we were starting to wake up at black and white, which was very limited in its thinking and its ability to see. And we have very limited aspects of viewing on the TV box. Then we went to colour, things became brighter, clearer. We started to get more channels. Technology started to increase. Then we came towards HD. We could go to HD, some of us, and this is, an analogy of our energetic state. We could go to HD direct, or we had a set-top box in between that we could just simply adjust to get our TV sets up to speed, so to speak. But we were all told we were going to HD eventually. This is where we're going. Now we're going into HD plus, infinite plus, okay? This is the journey that we're on. So the earth is giving us cues and clues all the way if we're awake, if we're listening, and if we're feeling, they're there. But again, as I said, this journey is being aware of the frequencies around us predominantly, because if we're not up to speed and vigilant to our field, and we don't understand our energies, and we're just doing and saying and doing the best we can out there, well, we're going to be impacted. Simple. You're going to be impacted by others' energies. They're going to enmesh and get caught up in yours, and you won't be able to see the forest for the trees. And you will be drained. And if you're drained, you have to say, why? Why do I feel drained? And again, only you can change the drainage state, okay? Nothing miraculous is going to come and fix it for you. You have to make and engage your divine masculine after feeling with the divine feminine where you're at. Engage your divine masculine to do something of light and of love about that for yourself. That is self-love. It is self-maintenance, as we've said in the cutting of ties video. But at the same time, if you are doing your work, but you are still falling back down the spiral, you're still traversing down for, gathering up old bits and pieces you missed the first time, or you might be going down to play the mirror role for somebody else in the journey, and you've just dropped your speed, you dropped your frequency for a bit, or you may have had in that engagement some lesser thoughts and energies. Well, these are making piercings through your auric field because they're dropping the outer field, they're dropping the light within you, and they're dropping the aura aspect. If you're really dense, you're really putting the punch in the potholes through. Okay, so again, in those moments of any cracks, frays, obvious openings, you have direct infiltration aspects for others to engage into your field and to suck and to take. This is just how energy works. Okay, it's negative and positive, so all energy is trying to rebalance itself on some level. We're doing it consciously, but people will take your energy from you. So in that space, again, there's no judgment. We just need to replenish the self. We need to reinstate, we need to refill, refuel, and our life source is all that maintains us in this physical perception. So self-love to the self, self-management, okay? It is about, as I said, stepping it up to you. And the more that you do this, the more that you look after yourself solidly every day, you become more and more aware of what feels right for you. You become aware of your greater energy. Then you know when something quick shifts. Was it me? And you do the self-reflection test. You go within. What have I done? Is there something within? What happened in that I was fine a minute, 10 minutes ago, an hour ago? I don't feel so good now. Why? Become the detective unto yourself. And then if it's not you and you know that nothing directly has happened, you haven't dropped your vibration, then you look to anything incoming. And if you feel that knife in the back, you feel like, you've just had a conversation very lovingly with somebody, but you may have had energies that have been exchanged. So again, transmute, return, reinstate, and off you go again. But it is to the point where the more you do it, the better you get at it, like riding a bike. And so in truth, that I can be with somebody, be fully present with them, love them absolutely, even if they're in ego, monitor myself the whole time through that ego aspects of what are my reflections here, send the love, cut the ties while I'm still engaging without them even knowing what I'm doing, but not taking on any of those frequencies, handing them back the whole time that I am with somebody with love and with grace, because I know I'm not their answer to their journey. I can be their guiding support on their journey, but they have all their answers and they must have all their energy back to be able to grow and evolve. Very important message. So anyway, with this, go out, check yourself, reinstate, refill. And as I said, if you haven't had a look at the video, it's about 25 minutes, I think. 25 minutes of grace that you can just love yourself through. So give it a shot and refuel. And as always, would love to hear your thoughts. If you've got anything you'd like me to talk about, any questions, I'm happy to make that a topic of a video. And I hope to see you all soon, and have a fabulous Tuesday in whichever part of the world you are, and lots of love and light. Okay, see you soon. Bye.